Ladies and gentlemen,
have you seen anything from the show yet?
Nope, I haven't seen nothing. I just got done training. Before I left to go to the gym, I just seen previews. Nothing live or no updates.
They probably got some. Yeah, they probably got some stuff trickling through now. Because I just saw. Well, I didn't see up. I was listening to. There you go. Listening to Desktop Bodybuilding, and it looks like Nathan came in bigger than ever, which is. I thought I expected Behrouz to be bigger than him actually, but they're like they played the size game, which might help him out actually. You know, because he's never going to be soft. Nathan's not going to be soft, so.
And he knows he. This is the first I've seen of it.
Yeah. Obviously, you can't like judge condition that well from this kind of video, but to some extent, you can see that they're both in shape. Nathan is bursting full. Behrouz is Behrouz. He's always on point, though.
Behrouz is kind of looks hottie-esque. Like
I think he's underrated. I really still think he's underrated. I think Behrouz is underrated still. He has his chinks, like his posing, like you could see he wasn't controlling his stomach in that side tricep, which is a shame because he has a really good midsection, but he wasn't controlling it. He does some herky jerky stuff that I think hurts him. But what's up, Ken?
Hey, Beatty, how you doing? Hey, Alyssa, how's
Hey,
it
Ken.
going?
it's
It's good
going.
to see you.
Good to see you, meet
Yeah, yeah. I feel I've been following each other for a little bit now, but we never really got to speak. So it's
you.
awesome.
Yeah, I was just looking at your pictures with Carlos this morning. God damn, son.
Yo, he was holding his own. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know Ken was that big.
Y'all look like brothers next to each other. Shit,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy.
Yeah,
Because Carlos
nah,
is a
but
fucking freak.
Carlos is impressive, man. Like if you training with him and just standing next to him and actually training together, dude, there's just shit moving on Carlos's body that I don't see a lot of people have. You know, just like his maturity, his muscle maturity, especially through the chest and shoulders. Like when we were training, I was like, dude, like you don't see it, but dude, your muscle maturity is starting to set in. He's a really impressive bodybuilder. Like it's been a while since I've stood next to someone and I'm like, damn, like I got some work to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's impressive. It's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Very impressive.
That's the thing. I mean, nobody sees it. Like you're probably telling him that, and he's probably looking at you thinking like, "Look who's talking," you know?
hmm
That's the thing. He's like, dude, you're bigger than me. Like when we first got there, he's like, dude, you're actually bigger than me. And I'm like, I don't think so. You think so, but I don't think so. I don't see it because I don't have shit moving the way yours does, you know? So
Because it's all relative, right? It's like
yeah,
you are bigger than him technically. Like you have a bigger structure than him, and you weigh more than him, right? But like he's so
yeah,
compact. It's like Nathan versus Behrouz. Technically, Behrouz is bigger. He has a bigger structure, but
yeah,
Nathan is so round. You know, he got that look to him.
yeah. Yeah, you know, yeah, that's the thing. I'm heavier than him, but it doesn't look that way. He actually looks heavier to me, you know?
Yeah, it don't always translate. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
not always literal. But let's go back
What up,
to
Joe?
Hey Joe,
Yo, what's
Joe
up,
Mighty
guys?
Joe.
what's up?
Chilling.
God damn,
Chilling.
look at that, man. Behrouz like on the side shots, his glute and
Crazy.
ham tie-in, the way that moves over there, it's very, very impressive. Very impressive.
I wish he would showcase the glutes better by just flexing the damn glutes.
I think he did better this week. He did better this
Yeah,
week, though.
I do see it because
Listen,
I see all the lines in there.
listen to
This
the
is
podcast. That's what it was.
his glute development is very, very he has like large glutes, but it's still balanced. Like Dorian Haywood had an imbalance problem with his glutes like a couple years ago, right? Where he would pose and it was overpowering. But Behrouz actually has like pretty large glutes, but it's still in proportion to his body. He's an impressive bodybuilder, man. Like I really think that if he could make it to the Olympia, this guy's in the top 10,
for
100%.
sure.
There's no doubt.
I think without a doubt, I think in any lineup, in any Olympia lineup, he's top 10.
Because all the shows that he's competed at too, I don't know if people realize, but dude, I don't think Behrouz has competed in a show where there hasn't been a potential top 10 Olympian that it's always been a battle. Like I think the last one, the one guy that hasn't made it to the Olympia, who in my opinion is also in that mix, right, is Brett Wilkin, which was close.
Well,
And
he did qualify.
He beat Brett there, and then it was Samson after that, and then Crizzo. It's like all these lineups, he's actually going against top 10 Olympians. It's not like these are, just shows that no one shows up. So he's pretty impressive. He's a pretty impressive guy.
I still think he's underrated. Just for the fact that before this show, literally everybody said Nathan is going to win, including us, I think, actually. But even though Nathan more than likely is going to win or possibly is going to win, the fact that everybody just agrees to that shows that he's underrated, because that should not be that fast of an assumption. This guy is insane. Look at this shit, bro. Look at this.
I think there's a couple of reasons why people are saying Nathan, right? Let's throw out the elephant in the room. Like Stefan Kinzel is on a roll lately. I feel like all his athletes, once one of these athletes go into a show, they're in the mix automatically, right? And Nathan, I think Nathan this year, compared to previous years, selfishly, he's taking things very seriously, right? Like Nathan would typically do shotgun preps of 6 to 8 weeks, and the guy's already on the stage. This year he did like a traditional style, and he's been training like an animal. I think he was in Kuwait for a while before coming to the show, right? I don't think he was even training in England, was he? Yeah. So Nathan's pretty serious this year. He's taking things very seriously, and you can tell on his physique that it's there. The thing with Nathan that I never really because I've seen him in person in New York in 2014, but that's been so many years now. It's been literally 10 years. Nathan's a big guy, but like you can't tell sometimes, right? Like he's big, but he's compact. So depending on who he stands next to, he may look really big or he may not be that big. So he's very hard to judge from a size perspective.
Well, he's actually not a big guy. He's a muscular guy, but he's not a big guy.
Yeah.
He's not a big person. Yeah. So I think that's why it's hard, because in that New York show, he's against Juan Morel. Juan is a big guy, but not actually as muscular as Nathan. So it's a different look. It's like if Tonio added 10 pounds of muscle, you'd be like, well, he's still not a big guy, but shit, he has a shit ton of muscle, right? Yeah. And Nathan has a shit ton of muscle, say the least. What do you think, Joe? Who do you think is ahead?
So this actually, can you actually? I haven't seen the comparison. Can you play that first one for me?
Yeah,
I haven't been able to see it.
Obviously, this is not great, but
yeah, I mean, it's gonna do what it's gonna do.
You can still compare. I was a bit nervous watching the YouTube video. That'll be honest. I was like, I know the lighting was horrible. Whoever was filming, it was so fucking exposed, like so much light. But
yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Nathan looks big, but he doesn't look tight. But he's always tight on stage.
So far from what I'm seeing, and I think because I love Behrouz, so bodybuilding is subjective to a point. Like I love Behrouz's shape. I think he's like perfectly balanced. He's obviously in really good condition. However, I do like Nathan's. It's just Behrouz again. It's that shape that he has, but I still think Nathan's going to come out on top because the one thing Nathan has is, well, his legs are good, and then he has a certain density and thickness on a lot of these shots that I think by bodybuilding criteria is going to put him ahead. And
Yeah.
like, see the thickness in his mid back and everything on those shots, and he's in condition. So I think they're going to give it to Nathan, which I have no problem with. But I personally like Behrouz's look better.
Yeah. Joe, I know what you're saying. The one thing I can't see from these recordings because they're so close, I feel like this show is one that you have to see in person just because the depth of the muscle, right? Like the actual depth of the muscle in terms of how thick that person is. You can't really see it from these videos because neck to neck, they both look very, very close, and structurally, Behrouz is better. So I would give it to Behrouz looking at these videos. But I've seen Nathan how thick he is, and I've never seen Behrouz. So that's the one thing I would say that maybe, you know, if Nathan is like a lot thicker, you can't give it to Behrouz.
I'm telling you, like, even if you look at the side, like, it's the side shots and the back shot that really stands out to me is the thickness from chest to back that Nathan has. Like, that I know, like, if you were there, because I know he's conditioned, especially because he's with Stefan and stuff. I know he's going to be good. So it's
they're in shape.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can see it in Nathan's legs in some of the other video, but obviously it doesn't tell the whole story. But I truly believe that thickness and density that Nathan has is going to put him over the edge.
And Nathan's legs this year are they've come up significantly this year.
Yeah, they really have. Like, look how he can go a little wider in his stance now. His adductors have come up.
Yeah,
he's like bursting full.
Yeah,
he got the biggest legs on stage right now, which is
crazy. You see what he's doing with his feet too? He's kind of arching there, so the adductors actually pop out a little bit more in the sweep. Yeah.
Sweeps too, it definitely gets the adductors and sweeps going.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm someone that has my sweeps aren't the best, so that's something I have to do. I have to put my stance a little more like that. I may even consider doing that arch thing.
it definitely works. You're basically going on the sides of your feet, so you're lifting up your arch. It's just a lot of shit to remember on stage because they're trying to do so much shit.
Yeah,
but
for real.
But I was gonna say, the same. Basically, what y'all two was saying is basically the reason why Bonac beat him, right? Because they're saying like in person, the crazy density and roundness of Bonac, even at this point in his career, was enough to beat Behrouz. So by that metric, well, then Nathan would beat him too, right? Because Nathan is he got that times 10 right now, right? The fullness and density right now on Nathan is far more than even Bonac has, right? So So Brady,
what's up? Sorry, I'm trying to. I'm not technologically advanced. I'm trying to figure this phone out.
No, you good, brother. You good. I just saw.
It's got to be frustrating for Behrouz, though. I feel for the guy. You know.
You think? Yeah.
I mean,
so frustrating.
I figured that was going to be brought up, man. Nathan. I mean, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Like, that's a guy that I think is going to be consistently top 10 if he would be able to get over here.
Yeah, I mean,
and Behrouz, I think he's right there. I mean, I think he could beat these guys in a different showing or even in 6 months. But you know, that I would be frustrated. I would for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure he knows how good he is. This the first call out?
Yeah.
Where's Wolski? Okay.
On the right. Yeah, it looks like Wolski may be a little off, but these are screenshots. I don't really know. But just based on the screenshots compared to New York.
Yeah, I didn't think Wolski would be all the way out there.
I had him in third.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I like the lighting of the show, though. Like the backdrop, it's not bad.
You see, when you see these screenshots, I'm not gonna lie, Behrouz looks structurally perfect.
because
So that's what I'm saying. Like his structure, like
It kind of is.
personally, I love Nathan, bro, but I really like Beruz's structure. I think it's fucking
Yeah.
picture perfect.
Yeah.
which is crazy because Nathan has a great structure too. He's aesthetic. It's just that I don't
There's
know.
like a certain it's the length to his torso before his lats before it hits his lats, and I think it throws it off a little bit. Like
Yeah.
that perfect look.
His legs are shorter too.
Yeah.
He had a longer torso, shorter legs. Kind of like Tonio, but like more enhanced, I guess.
But Tonio
These
has
are-
those
these are-
crazy
these are-
sweeps, so it kind of balances it out.
This is a
Well,
taller
so did
lineup
Nathan.
too. This is a taller line because Nathan's one of the shorter guys in this lineup. To be honest, it's a taller lineup because Amir is pretty tall, and like look at in the front standing with the other shots. All these guys look like 5'9", 6. You know, they all look pretty tall.
How tall is Nathan?
Like 5'8". Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
I guess in bodybuilding terms, most of them are kind of tall. Wolski 5'10" and Behrouz 5'10", so it's not that tall, but on the taller side. Who's the blonde guy? This guy.
I've been trying to figure that out. I have no idea who that is.
Oh, is that's not Justin. No, Justin's there.
I
Anthony.
think if
Oh
you go
no.
back to bodybuilding,
Oh, that is Justin. The other guy with Anthony.
That's
Oh yeah,
the
this
nine
guy.
plate. That's the nine plate guy.
Oh,
Non-play Cybex guy.
That's the 9 plate.
nine plate Justin.
Dude,
Let me see
yeah.
the 9 plate. Let me see the 9 plate. I ain't
Nine
seen
plate.
it yet.
No bands, Alyssa. We were looking to no bands.
Yeah.
Yep,
Some
that's
people
solid.
Some people don't like the wraps. I don't wear the knee wraps, but I don't mind it. I feel like sometimes you
If
you
I'm
may
going
need
that
it.
heavy on a
I
hack
bet.
squat, I'm
You
not
better-
trying to. I'll never
Yeah.
not knee wrap that much weight, bro. My
Yeah,
knees
you-
will blow the fuck out.
You better wrap your knees if you're doing that.
Well, see,
Yeah.
then my argument would be is maybe you shouldn't be doing it, right? Because when I build I'm trying to build my quad all the way to the kneecap. You know what I'm saying? So if you wrap it tight, you're gonna take away some of that activation there. You know?
Whenever I wrap my knees for any movement, I don't go tight on the top. It's right beneath the kneecap. That's where I put the security. That's where I
Okay,
feel
yeah.
the pain if I don't wrap it. So
Hey,
That
all
makes
I do
sense.
is secure the bottom of the kneecap, and then the top. It doesn't restrict any blood flow. It's not that tight when I wrap up.
Yeah, no. If you do it that way, then yeah, I don't think it'd take away. At one point, I was wrapping my knees so tight that I felt like I wasn't getting any muscle by that kneecap. So I was like, "Fuck this shit," and then I just stopped
Yeah.
wrapping.
Yeah.
But
I actually feel like you can tear
Oh,
your
shit.
quad that way if you wrap it too tight because you restrict the
Mhm.
contraction with that much
I
load.
agree.
Yeah.
I was starting to get knee pain from wrapping my
Yeah.
knees, so then I stopped
Yep.
stopped wrapping it. But I also noticed that like people think it adds like strength or weight. I mean, I guess it could, but when I took it off, I mean, after a couple of weeks, I was doing the same shit. So I don't really think it makes as big of a difference as we think, you know. As
No,
far as
I mean, I
weight.
think it does in terms of joint, you know, just stability of the joint. But listen, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're lifting these kind of weights, I think safety is first, no matter what. So, like, I use knee sleeves. You know, my
Mhm.
knees are not like I have old man knees, so I'm gonna put some kind of protection. I'm not just gonna go in there with nothing on. So I do use knee sleeves. I mean, if you're lifting the kind of poundages that we're doing, I think it's worth investing in some level of protection. You know,
Yeah, I
just
agree.
doing this, week after week, something's gonna go regardless.
See, my only caveat to that is the same with the belt argument. In my head, I'm like, you shouldn't need equipment to lift any weight. You know what I'm saying? It should be like, okay, if for me at least, I'm like, okay, if my knees have been acting up for whatever reason, I'm trying to get to the bottom of why it's acting up. Maybe I need to get some work done. Maybe it needs to get some massage work done. Maybe I ought to loosen up the quad. Throwing knee wraps on it and adding more plates, I don't think is always the best thing to do. You know what I'm saying? So,
But you're taking
Mhm.
one aspect out, like because your knees are a little bit sore, something is wrong, does not necessarily mean there's a problem in your variables. Sometimes it's just age. Your knee is not going to be the same at 45 years
Injury.
old as when you were
Yeah,
20.
wear and tear is a
So
real thing.
Of
it's a
course,
real thing. So
So
you have to train in such a way that you're accommodating for the lifespan of your joints and your connective tissue. So yeah, you can either not train heavy or you can use some protection and try and train as heavy as you can. And I would probably choose the
yeah.
other option.
yeah.
What
So
the
like for me, I have a rod on my left tibia, I had an open tib fib, and I have a metal hip. And my
Cool.
back looks like an accordion from scoliosis. So like there's sometimes like I agree with you, like don't use a band-aid to fix if there is a problem. But if you're getting tissue work done weekly, 2 times, 3 times a week, chiropractor weekly, 2 times a week, you're doing all your mobility, you're covering all your bases and you're still in some pain. You know what I mean? So like I only use knee sleeves. Um, and that's where that rod, and that's really because that rod, they put it down through my patellar tendon. But I won't
yeah,
use wraps because I feel like wraps becomes a band-aid when it
exactly
hurts.
my point.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I do think a little bit.
See, okay, this is my thing. Same way I hear people say, "Oh, see, I don't squat no more because I'm getting old, my knees hurt, so I'm gonna just leg press instead." Then they're leg pressing 1,000 pounds with knee wraps on. I will go as far as to say, if you're having knee pain, I think you should take off the knee wraps actually, and break it back down. See what you're doing wrong, right? So you can control the weight more. So now when I take off my knee wraps, my knees don't hurt because I'm actually controlling the weight the way I should. Doesn't mean going light. I'm still hack squatting 6 to 8 plates. You know what I'm saying? It's just that I'm doing it without the knee wraps. So I'm actually controlling it and actually getting more activation, right? So that's how I look at it. I feel like a lot of people say, "Oh, this, so let me just put knee wraps and go just as heavy." And I don't think you're fixing anything. I don't think you're even improving your quads. I think you're throwing a band-aid on and using maybe more ego than you should. There's nothing wrong with saying, "Okay, I'm getting, I'm getting to that age where it's shit is starting to hurt. Let me slow it down. Let me actually use my quads instead of bouncing in a hole or using something to cover pain. If there's pain is a signal. Your body telling you something is wrong, regardless of what it might be. Is throwing a knee wraps on top of it isn't gonna fix the pain signal. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't use wraps, or I think sleeves is best personally.
Yeah. Sleeves
But
is the best. Yeah.
this is just
Yeah,
one
100%.
opinion, and you can use wrap. I don't like sleeves because I can't get it. It's a bitch to get over the calves and all this.
You
And
got
so
you got to put it on early in the lift. You can't do
exactly.
it right
Yeah.
after you got a pump, bro. It's,
Yeah.
it's over after that.
So in a way, I guess I'm contradicting myself because I do, if I'm going to use them, I do actually prefer to use wraps. I'll just wrap it like a sleeve.
Like
It's very light, but this is not what people do, right? We all know people don't do that. People are going to
Yeah.
wrap it and then still lift fucking high squat 10 plates just to complain about their knees, anyways, right? That's what I don't agree with, you know what I'm saying? But
The
either
only-
way,
the only-
you can use it too.
Yeah, the only thing I'm saying, and I agree with you. I think the difference of what we're trying to say is when you're having actual pain versus aches and pain. Aches and pain from doing this over time, right? A lot of people have elbow tendonitis, knee tendonitis from just lifting weights for 20 years. The wear and tear in the body, this shit happens. So if you're in a position like that, I would still recommend someone using knee sleeves or elbow sleeves versus just going raw, because you still want to protect that joint. You still having nothing and still continuing to go as you are, and you already have elbow tendonitis, is just setting yourself up for more failure. So
I
that's just what
feel
I'm trying to
like
communicate here.
I use Iron Rebel knee sleeves,
Yeah.
obviously. So like I feel like it's kind of a mini reverse band in a sense for that, just at the bottom of a squat or hack squat or whatever. Instead of using a reverse band, the knee sleeves kind of replicate that same reverse pulling me out of the hole. So it's just
Yeah.
enough. I was having knee pain using the Star Trek hack squat. I don't know if it was because of that hack squat in particular or if I was going too heavy, but that was causing my right patella to just ache. Like it was a dull ache at the front of my kneecap. And I just backed off from using that machine in general and just did what didn't hurt, recreated strength around my leg and stopped pushing through my toes, started pushing more through my heel, and started using, I think it's pre-core hack squat, like the old school one. And I don't have knee pain anymore. So
Well,
like what Bitey said, like just taking
that's your
out
best
what
bet.
hurts. Yeah. Just do what
Problem
doesn't hurt.
solved. So okay, so I'm fucking bench pressing. My shoulder, just that wear and tear, right? All these years of the wear and tear, my elbows, my shoulders. So you know what? Let me put elbow wraps on. Let me put wrist wraps on. Let me put a slingshot on. Or I could just say maybe I shouldn't be bench pressing anymore because it's tearing up my body. You know what I'm saying? That's my way of thinking because I've already tried it. You know, that happened to me with the bench press. Oh, let me try this. That happened to me with the squat. Let me just wrap my knees and get a belt. And then it didn't really help. And now that I did the opposite approach, my legs are bigger and my back is bigger, actually. You know, it's seen more growth and zero pain, right? Instead of because I'm not trying to do what people did in the 90s, which is just cover it up with more shit. I actually just completely changed it, which Ken did that too for his back training, actually. You know what I'm saying? So
I did that with all my training too. Everything for legs after I broke them, everything changed. But I can't do anything like normal people.
yeah, you
She's
can
really-
only do that for so long. You know, early on, you can just do more and more and more, and just add wraps and all types of stuff, and then eventually,
There's no point. You're not getting a point out of it.
yeah, and no good is coming out of it at that point. At that point, you just have to just make the smarter choice. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question for Brady.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned because you have scoliosis and you have a couple of rods in your legs, right? In your tibia on your right leg. So
my tibia,
like,
my left tibia, my right hip is flexible metal plate.
Oh shit! So you got it on. Oh, it's not even one side. It's like
it was.
sides.
Yeah, I was in a wheelchair for a little from it. Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. So like, off seasons and like when you're putting on weight, do you feel like does that affect you a lot? Like in terms of like,
big time.
Yeah,
big time. So I don't know if you guys remember. I don't know if anybody Classic Queen.
I remember you was in that really bad car wreck.
So yeah, you followed me since day one. I forgot about that. You followed me since like 2017. So I worked with I guess no matter who, but me and him decided we wanted to grow, and we both this is a mutual thing. We said we're going to grow at all costs. This is why I was going from Classic to Open. So we did that. I went from 205 to 280 from October 10th at the Olympia until May. I think it was like 20th or 15th, whatever the Pittsburgh was. I was 205 to 280. It was the worst thing I've ever done in my life, bro. Like, I didn't even think about all of the other pains because I would be in pain after I grow a little bit, but I was in Classic, so I never really experienced it. I just thought it was like just a little bit of, off season stuff, training heavy and, kind of being a little bit sloppier. So then once I really tried to grow, I was like, there was at one point I was like, I can't do Open. I can't do this. Mm-hmm. And now I do things a little bit different to where like I have to stay lean because if I start getting too big too fast, too heavy too fast, not too big too fast, it's like nothing can keep up. And it's like it's more so the scoliosis in the back and like the hip, from the hip breaking, it sets my hips off. And it's called a spondy. I can't remember the technical name, but basically, like, here's both of my vertebrae in my lower back, and here's the third one. The third one is pushed in, and these two are touching. Right? So it's called like a spondy or something. I don't know. I need surgery eventually for it. But so basically, the hip sets it off, which made that start to push in. And when I was heavy, that's what would take it, is my lower back would take all the load, and I had to walk funny because of the injuries and stuff. And so now we realized after that, I was like, okay, I have to stay lean. And within a certain distance, like, honestly, if I compete every year for the rest of my life, that'll be why too, because I have to get lean to feel healthy and feel good and be able to move again.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing to compete every year. When you catch that rebound. Yeah. like even if it's once a year, just to catch that rebound. Like when I see people take years off, how often do they actually come back really improved or much heavier? Usually not at all. Usually they look, even if they don't look the same, the weight is the same shit. And then you see people who catch these rebounds and they're gaining, 5-10 pounds of stage weight every show.
Joe Palacio, king of the rebound.
Right. Look at the guys at the top, though. These guys at the top, man, they're doing the Olympia, the Arnold, another qualifier. And Nick, every time we've seen Nick, he's been what looks like a year off season improved.
Yeah, he's quite a bit bigger.
I mean, there's no questions to that,
I think
it's not like he's taking more than everybody or eating more or able to do something that we're not able to do. You know what I mean? He bleeds the same blood that we all bleed. So like, how is he able to do it? It's literally that.
On the opposite end, we've seen Regan take like maybe 2 years off 3 times, maybe. This is probably the third time. We saw Quint do it maybe 3 times as well, 2 or 3 times, and they haven't gained a crazy amount of stage rate. Actually, I mean they haven't gained much. If I'm being honest,
my craziest rebound so far was the USA's going into this last one, and I think there's something to be said about putting a certain pressure of time itself on yourself. Yeah. So when you give yourself too much time, you almost become lax with everything. So it's harder to push yourself to
100%.
Yeah, I mean, most. And so the reason I've been so successful in my, I guess you can say, trajectory with my changes was for that reason, because I have competed every year. And the one time I took more than a year off, that was when I went from natural to enhanced from 20 to 22. It was a little less than a year, but after the first, like...
Wait, can you go back? Can you rewind? When did you start here?
Oh, wait, don't know that.
At the end of 2020, November 2020.
Lying through your fucking teeth at me right now, bro. You have not been here 6 years less than me, and you're that much bigger than me.
Brady,
you should have saw him.
Brady, there's a lot of us here, man. I'm 2021 too. There's not many of us. Josie,
so ahead of me. Why are you guys so ahead of me? Damn, I should have ate more. You know what the problem was, bro? I'm not gonna lie. I took beer when I was too young.
Me too.
And I didn't eat.
100%.
And I wasted 5 years just like taking gear, eating 5 meals a day with a cheat meal in it, they fucking around.
Of course.
Like, yeah, man. So yesterday, a couple of people went up to me because they've been following my little journey. Literally at Fit Nation, that's where I pretty much started. So I did my first show natural in November of 2020, and I did it naturally. I took second in the open. It wasn't a crazy big show, but that was enough for me to like, I wanted to do it natural and decided this is the life I wanted, because I'm a person that goes all in. And so I knew just through research and watching people growing up and the life I was going to take on if I wanted to succeed. And so after I did that show, I fell in love with it, and I was like, all right, I'm all in. And then in 22, that's when I won the California. And then in 23, I won USA's, and now you saw me on the pro stage in 24. But I was all in. So there was, and I had a coach right off the bat who controlled my diet, my gear. So there was zero waste of time. And the only time I did waste was, which we were talking about earlier, was when I took all that time off between pretty much 21 going into 22 to grow. After that initial rebound, because I literally stepped off stage natural. The following, so that was Saturday, the show. The following Tuesday, I started my very first pin and oral. And I went on a 16-week, in the first 8 weeks of that phase, I put on 50 pounds the first 10 weeks, yeah. And pretty much after that, I held that for the rest of the time. I didn't get any bigger than that. I didn't get smaller. So all the rest of that time, I was just kind of wasting time. And then I ended up doing the prep for the Cal. But that was the longest period of time. And that first year after that, the rest of the time was wasted. So I saw where you guys are all talking about too much time off, you won't get anywhere. At first, you're like, guns blazing. And then after that, you're just kind of bored with it. You lose, I hate to say it, but you lose any motivation. you start to get like, you know what, I'm gonna go and have a drink now because fuck it and stuff like that. So that's what happened to me.
I mean, okay, let's say for whatever reason somehow, you're just as motivated by week fucking, I don't know, by week 40, you're just as motivated. Your body has still been in a surplus for months and months and months. So it's not going to be as efficient adding muscle when it's been fucking, you know what I'm saying? When it's been maxed out for the last, I don't know, 6-7 months. It's just not how the body works. Your body is going to grow the best when it's leanest. You know what I'm saying? And fucking 9 months in the off season, you ain't going to be at leanest. So at some point you got the most out of it. Oh, I'm 310. Getting to fucking 325 is not gonna make me big on stage. And we've seen it happen already so many times. You know what I'm saying? Now going back down to 270 and then coming back up to 320 the next year, oh, that's gonna make you bigger. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you just said. You just said my situation now, right? So I just hit 281 today. Like today, I finally hit 281.
I saw that.
I shot him a message too.
I'm like, holy shit.
This motherfucker can't breathe no more.
Bro, no. Well, because
280 is a struggle weight, bro. Anything over 260 starts to really it weighs on you. And
especially when you're fucking.
That's what I'm saying.
5'7"?
Yeah.
Ken, bro. 280 at 5'7" crazy.
Ken's like 315 right now, bro. He's
exactly,
like Ryan Coleman posing at the beach, bro.
So
you're gonna feel
it. Now I'm like, yeah, dude. I don't think we should keep going up from here. I think it's time to pull back.
There's somebody.
It's one of those things, So eventually, I don't think you should keep pushing. I probably haven't done that in some time, and when I did do that, nothing great came out of it.
You know what's funny though? The only thing I can say about it is, I would say when I did my last off season, I got to about 288, and it was a clean, kind of like pretty damn decent 288. But then I still got as heavy as 302. And you could say those extra, 14 pounds wasn't really necessary. But at the same time, because I pushed to 302, I actually stayed, I guess you could say, in that cleaner 280, like for my body to hold it. Even though I was pushing forward, I was holding the rest of the weight that came with it, pushing forward. So I really was able to sustain a lot of that muscle. That's why it stuck so long. So say whatever I got out of the extra 14 pounds, say I lost that right away. But because I was up there so heavy for so long, a lot of it solidified. And that's why I was able to keep it going on stage. But I did give my body time being in that consistent surplus. That makes sense.
100%. Well, and what I was going to say, that the reason that really is all A1C based. And that's why the rebound is so good. The insulin sensitivity is really high.
Yes.
So your A1C is really low. When your A1C gets above a certain level, you lose that X amount of sensitivity. If you're not taking insulin to shuttle the carbs, you're not going to shuttle them the same. And even if you are, if your body is still not naturally doing it, it's not going to. You're just going to start adding fat. The muscle starts becoming less and less and less as you watch that A1C number go up. So really, a really good thing that you can do would be mini cuts throughout the year too, and making sure that you're staying not just lean. It's not so much about leanness; it's about sensitivity, but also staying lean though too, because we know that when there's fat, what else comes with it? There's a fat cell. There has to be a fat cell to make the fat, right? So if we're adding fat cells, we're just going to continue it at any point in that growth phase to add fat. So it's really just, I think if you pay more attention to A1C, you don't necessarily have to do a show, but get lean and get the rebound effect consistently. I feel like you can continue to grow. But I also believe, and this is a little more bro sciencey, that there is 100% something to be said about weight that's stuck for X amount of time. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the reason why a lot of my density came that year that I grew was because I sat at that weight for so long. I was over 260 for almost a year. And before that, I had never been a day above 235. You know what I mean? Like it absolutely stuck because of that. So there's something to be said about that as well. I know 0% about science behind that.
It's pretty. I mean, it makes sense, right? Listen, if you go from 260 to 270, that first month, that 270 isn't muscle, right? First of all, you got fucking just the amount of food in your stomach all day. First of all, you're fully glycogen loaded. That's why when you start the cut, you drop that 10 pounds so fast because it's literally just muscle glycogen. So it has to become muscle, right? You know, so it's like that. What is or appears to be water weight or whatever eventually does turn into muscle, right? But it takes time. Same way if you pop an Anadrol, you gain 5 pounds. That 5 pounds isn't muscle, but it will become muscle eventually. You know,
And that's why you
down
start the cycle with an oar. That's why they call it jump start. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day reading on the old Reddit is what they called it.
That's the whole concept of growing into a weight. You know, like you've been a weight, you cut back. Next time you go to that weight, you grew into it. Your body knew how to get there, but now it got there more efficiently. So you don't just get fat the second time around. So I mean, shit. I tell everybody, I'm like, look, getting to 300 pounds to develop the appetite to do that. Like I didn't used to have the appetite of a 300-pound man, but I've gotten there. My body knows how to get there. So now when it comes to the clean eating side of things, right? Because that's the best way to grow. Because I've been a certain way, I will have the appetite to get there with clean food. So it'll be easier to get there just better. I'm not gonna be 300 pounds on stage, but I'm just saying I'll have the appetite to always stick around. So it's never that hard part is over. Now So I know how to be heavy now. My body knows how to be heavy. It'll just be better heavy.
Ken, what was your stage weight?
I was 217 at North Americans.
He's gonna shock the world when he steps on stage, man. Watch.
Hey, I saw those pictures next to Carlos, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was like,
we were just talking about that.
You shocked Brady's world. He said, shit.
No pressure.
I mean, we knew you were good. We knew you were good for North Americans, man. But like, I mean, to show that amount of size standing next to, that's why I was like, hey, man, Carlos is a big son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's a freak. And Ken wasn't. You know, he wasn't a slouch in those pictures.
No pressure, guys. No pressure. Just
So I weighed at the Olympia.
privilege.
At the Olympia, I weighed about 121, and last year at the Texas Pro, I weighed 131, and this year I'm at 136. So it's just time doing the same stuff over time, and you just let it marinate. So
that's a lot. 10 pounds at 120 is like 30 pounds for us. So
it's all relative, right? Yeah.
That's a lot of
and see, now look, during the Olympia year 2021, I won the New York Pro. And after the New York Pro, going into the Olympia, we basically came off of supplements, pushed clean food high. And this is the time where I did what my coach said, and I ate. It was literally breakfast, 110 grams of cream of rice. The next couple meals were like 300 grams of rice, like a muffin somewhere in the mix. Before bed, like 6 ounces of salmon and like 300 grams of rice. Like just the amount of food that my body can handle clean wise. I just hate my life, and I don't like the way like I feel and perform. So that's why I do dirty food. I just take over my rebound in my off season because I know what I'm doing. We probably all know what we're doing. I just know what I need mentally, emotionally, because I'm still a woman. And you know what makes me want to keep doing this in the off season. And I go based off of what I see in the mirror. The weight's a tool, but as long as I'm lifting and enjoying my lifts, I don't do cardio because I don't really gain fat. I just get soft coming off of subs. Again, the way I explain it to all my clients is I do everything instinctively. Like if I like literally can wake up and be like, yeah, today's definitely a Five Guys day. Or we just gotta, tacos. Like tacos is my diet. But when I say tacos, it's just a tortilla with a bunch of beef in it. It's not like anything crazy, but it's just beef. So I just instinctively know what it takes to just inch your way
Dude.
up.
Do as
We
I
all
say,
do,
not as
low-key.
I do.
We all really do.
Yeah, dude. I mean, the amount of like there was a certain point. I think I got to 290 or two. Yeah, I think it was 290 to where I just couldn't fucking do it. And I kept telling myself, like, man, like, talk about questioning being an open guy. Like, fuck, do I have what it fucking takes? And I said, you know what, Joe? This is where fucking science matters. Like, you're getting enough protein. You're training fucking hard. At the end of the day, it's just about getting some calories in. So the amount of McDonald's at night that I would throw in, or like I talked about my 7-Eleven cookies, hey, man, that shit fucking worked. Now, I don't have to do that no more because, like I just talked about, I developed an appetite to be a very big man now. So it'll be better the next time around. But shit, you do what you got to do. And you know what? The stage weight spoke for itself. As long as the training matches the input of the food, you'll be fine. You may not look the best, but you're doing something. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I can't.
absolutely comes with time. Absolutely comes with time. Because I'm just saying, my first year moving in, when I got up to 280, I did all clean food. I hated it. I didn't cheat once that off season because I didn't want to fuck digestion up. And bro, it was terrible. It was the worst year of my life. But now, the amount of food I can eat now, I can eat 480 grams of rice and 10 ounces of fucking chicken without thinking twice about it.
Yep.
And I'm hungry after. If it doesn't have
Yep.
fats in it, I'm fucking hungry.
I don't.
do it.
It comes with time.
I don't have to eat as much food as y'all, so I don't necessarily feel that way. Like when I'm done with my day, the last thing I would want is to eat McDonald's. Like that's not something that what I'm saying. I don't have any.
Well, I mean,
craving
but
for
when's the? It's not the craving. It's the calorie density of the McDonald's. It's bro, you throw down a double quarter pounder. That's 900 fucking calories right there. Boom. You're
Yeah,
fucking
And my
set.
problem is I'll go without eating in the off season. That's probably why people are like, how do you stay so lean and eat like that? Well, it's because y'all don't see what I'm not posting. So like I could literally, I wake up and train fasted. People don't believe in that. I do. So I like to train fasted and then go eat some tacos because that's what or Cracker Barrel. Like I have my meals and they're pretty much, if I go somewhere in Texas, I can keep my diet the same with Five Guys, tacos, or anywhere. But I just do everything instinctively and I just got to keep the passion alive because I love to prep. But in the off season, if I feel like I'm prepping, I don't want to go into a prep mentally burnt out. So it's like the fast food or the junk food or the whatever keeps me it keeps me getting away from my chicken pound and chicken and rice and stuff. That way it makes me want to go eat chicken and rice, if that makes sense. Like,
Yes.
I know it's probably not the professional thing to do, but it works for me.
But it's real. I mean, but it's a good thing you say it because a lot of the not hating on any professional, at a high level, but a lot of them show what they're doing on the level that they're at right now, but that's not how they got there. At least not all of them. And then they talk about this is how you have to do it. It's like, nah, man, there's some shit you did before that. And then you got to this level, kind of like I'm talking about. You won't see me sign McDonald's now at this point because I don't have to. But I didn't get to this weight by being super clean and all that stuff the whole way through. It just wasn't possible for me.
I felt like Joe, Alyssa, and Brady can all relate to it. And I feel like me and Ken is on the same boat. I don't think we have any. We have none of these fields because me and Ken go off of like 3,500 calories. Like never in the off season. Like have
I'm killed. Bro, I mean 5,000 right now.
See, I've been quiet, baby. You notice I've been so quiet.
I can't relate at all. I'm like because
I kill for that, bro.
We don't need that much. We don't need that much food to grow, so we don't need extra calories.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing.
It is. No, see, now I see it that way. For years, I was so jealous. I'm like, y'all get to diet on all.
Why do you want to eat more?
Food.
I don't understand that. People always want to talk about how much you eat. Why do you want to eat more?
It's not. It's more expensive.
Exactly.
Have you ever passed out on the toilet? Because I have, and it sucks.
Well, okay.
When you're gagging in between sets of squats, just trying to fucking not throw up before your next set, bro. That's not a good fucking feeling, bro.
Now, don't get me wrong. If I had you guys' appetite and had to eat as little food as I do, then I wouldn't be able to do the sport. It would be impossible. But we also don't have the same appetite, so it kind of works out. Like I'm on 1,200 calories. Am I hungry? Yes, but if I'm being completely honest, I'm more hungry on my high days. On my low days, I'm kind of content, which sounds silly. Like somebody my size would be content on fucking, you know what I'm saying, 1,200 calories, but I am. So it's actually like even right now in prep, I don't have any cravings. Like I'm not like, oh, I want to have a burger. Not really. I don't. It don't even cross my mind. It don't even cross my mind.
Exactly what you said, Beatty. Right? Like me right now. We just said I'm 280. I'm still doing 45 minutes of cardio 6 times a week. Right? And my meals are like 300 grams of rice. In fact, Andrew dropped it to 250 recently. Yeah. So it's like, you know.
And you full, right? You're like, I'm full,
dude.
I don't want to eat.
I'm tired. I'm tired of eating. Right,
yeah, bro. My meals are at 300 grams right now, 10 ounces of meat, and I'm fucking starving. Like, fucking starving. It's only like 40. It's only like 4,200 calories and shit, but I'm fucking starving.
Wait, see where I'm the opposite. Like Alyssa, like what you said, and it's so interesting how people are different. I love the fact that you even said that. You know, like you need to step away in order for you to walk in and prep. I feel like I'm the opposite, where it's like I need to keep things as the same as possible, because when that prep starts, I don't want to have to change shit. I just want to go into the prep. The foods are the same. The cardio, maybe I'm adding more here and there, but it's still the same Stairmaster that I've been doing for the last 20, 30 weeks. And it's different for different people. Like I know, like me in the past, you know, when I first started competing, that adjustment where you have that switch, right? Where you turn on that prep and you're like, all right, I got to start waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to go do my morning cardio and do all that. Like that routine switch, it takes like 3 to 4 weeks to just get in the rhythm of actually doing that, you know, and I don't want to have to waste those 3 to 4 weeks. So it's always different for different people, which I love the fact that you said that, because people always think that all pros are like doing the same thing. Like everyone is perfect. They're doing like, but dude, Tonio will tell you himself, the guy eats pizzas in off season and the guy has a 6-pack, you know? So it's like, it's not the same for everyone. You know, it's not the same.
No.
Yeah. Is you said you're doing 45 minutes of cardio and about 300 grams of rice a meal.
Yeah.
I'm eating about 432 grams of rice a meal. And it's like 5,000 calories. I haven't done cardio this entire year. I haven't done cardio all year.
He's getting shredded.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm a whole different type of physique. So when you guys at the 280 mark or whatever, when you're eating so much food, what do you feel like waking up, like just straight up waking up after all that food? Do you feel bloated? Do you have water retention? Can you feel it, like, or do you wake up hungry?
I wake up hungry and dry.
Yeah, I wake up hungry, but I won't say I wake up dry. You know, I feel like you're like me. I don't think dry is in our vocabulary till we're like 4 weeks out.
leaning watery.
Because the reason I say that is I never used to be like this. I kind of worked my way into this. But what I would do is I would go out. I was in a relationship, so if we went out to eat or something, you know, Insomnia Cookies or Cheesecake Factory, I would wake up and I could feel it like on my hands and face, and I could see the water retention. My body doesn't look so bad, but I don't want to do cardio. I want to like train it off. So what I would do is I would train fasted and work on my back and my legs, because those are my weaker body parts. And so basically the night before I was loaded, the morning of, I would go kind of shuttle whatever I ate into the weaker body part the morning and then begin my day. So it wouldn't be fasted cardio. I do fasted pumps because of the shit that I eat the night before. So my body kind of like, it's like how people peak within a week. I kind of peak within a day. So like people kind of like front load and then dry out like the end of the week. I kind of do that within a day. every day. It's like repeating a peaking process every day. Kind of sounds stupid, but it works. And it's brought my back up and it's brought my leg conditioning
Well, I
up.
think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the thought process behind it just makes sense to me, only because you have everything you need the night before, especially going into sleep. You're not using it, and then when you wake up feeling that way, you hydrate a little bit and then you go train. There's something to be said about efficient training when you're not worrying about digestion and feeling heavy. You can't
And
feel
the
heavy after
connection.
being fasted. Yeah, and because you still have it. It's just not. It's not taking forever to move anymore. It's like you're full without being full, and then you can eat after because you just trained your ass off. But performance in the gym can heavily be hindered by the fact that you're too damn full to train at a certain point. So, like in off season, I actually perform way better going in with one meal because I still will eat, but I'll go in with one meal, and then I don't give a fuck how I feel the rest of the day. I can feel like shit, fuck it, but
Yeah.
go to bed
I
feel
don't
like a
like
fat
feeling
fuck.
bogged down in the gym. I like to perform well. But again, I am a big proponent and like more you do more, you can eat more. So the faster workout is just an isolated to like bring up the weaker body parts and it's nothing compound movement wise. But then that second workout in the day is the priority, like the heavy stuff. But again, for me, it's all based on sometimes I don't work out in the morning. I'll do stairs, but it's instinctive. I could like God gave me something to just wake up and feel it, and I know. So me and my coach this year, we're working more hand in hand together more than like every other prep. I don't know if you know Yassine Nasir, but that's who coaches me. And every other prep since New York Pro, he's just told me what to do, and I'm the one that just I'll do what you say. But I'm kind of getting to the point where I can't work like that. I need you to know what I'm feeling inside. And it's not that I want to hide how I feel because I'm a bitch or I feel like I'm hungry or this, but it's like you need to know because I've been doing this. I know what I need and I need you to know what I need too. And then we can decide together where to go. So far so good.
That's dope.
I think communication is super important because you have to like believe in what you're doing, and that's when it's going to work. So like if you communicate that and you guys come to a common ground, like you put your input and then they'll kind of like match theirs and you guys come up with something together that'll work. And then it becomes consistent with each other. So it's super important that you communicate that kind of stuff. Like even foods, like right away with when I started working with Justin, I don't like when it comes to digestion and stuff, I'm like a rice guy through and through. I don't use oatmeal or nothing. I don't do potatoes. It's just rice and I can eat a stupid amount of food and process it, no problem, be hungry for the next meal and stuff. Even fats, like limit my fats, and I can eat a crazy amount of carbs, keep things going. But that's something Justin knows by working with me. But I've told him like, hey man, I'm starting to do this, and it's like fucking with me. So I'll communicate that. Even I can't prep with egg whites. For some reason, somewhere down the line during prep, I just can't do it. It like fucks me up. When I pose, my stomach can't stay tight. Then he'll let me use isolate, and that's good enough. As long as I have 4 solid meat meals and stuff, he doesn't care if I use the isolates. So stuff like that, I communicate.
Egg whites fuck most people's stomach up for the record.
But it's weird. So I'm okay during the off season, but like 2 years in a row now, 8 weeks out, something happens to where my body doesn't process it the same. I don't know what the fuck happens.
It's the opposite.
Because you're digesting less food.
That's maybe so.
For me, it's the opposite. In prep, I digest egg whites fine, and in off season, I can't at all digest it. You know?
Beatty, man.
But
I've just been looking at you since we started this podcast. You okay? I feel like you're.
Oh, like you start dying off. Oh, I saw that too,
You're suffering, bro. You okay?
I'm completely dead, bro. I'm completely.
Do you need
dead,
down?
Yeah.
I was gonna say you need one of those energy drinks.
It's
What's
right
with
here,
does the Kratom make you sick though?
No. So the way they dose these cans, this is what I've told people because I've had.
What can is that? Get Uprising. Don't get that shit. Get Uprising. Get the soft gels. You're
Yeah,
welcome. Thank you
Uprising.
later. It is
Sponsor
the
me.
best kratom you'll ever
Uprising. Sponsor me.
get.
I've actually used
my
Med 45.
girlfriend's
Yeah, bro, hook me up. But the way they dose it in this one, because I've done it to where I've taken too much, not of this, but of something else, and I got nauseous as fuck and tired. But I promoted these cans because I haven't felt that at all, and I think it's because the dose is it's not a lot because there's other things in it. It's just enough. But I feel like that's what kills that fatiguing feeling that I tell everybody during cardio when you're on prep. That's what it helps with the most, is that heavy footed feeling. So when
Soft.
go
I
ahead.
want some soft gels sent out to you so you can try them.
bro, I
think you'd like them
hit
a lot
them
more.
up, so I'm like, come on, someone get back to me.
Joe's contracted now. It's a conflict of interest. But
Yeah, no,
I do want to ask you.
I
I
can't promote other energy drinks. This is good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I do want to ask you.
I
Baby,
could
how
do
are you doing
whatever the fuck I want. I'll tell you that much.
with prep. How are you doing?
Huh?
How are you doing with prep, baby? Like give me a prep update.
Like I said earlier, food is at about 1,200 calories, cardio, 2 hours, 6 days a week. But honestly,
You went back
man,
up?
yeah, I went back up. So he
'Cause I
went
know he
down,
was
but
at
then he
60
went
for
back
a
up.
couple of days, right?
Yeah, he that was 2 days. He did it for
Okay.
that was last week sometime.
Short-lived.
Yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm being,
Joe and Paul are like, yeah, he's gonna bring your cardio down. You know, it's gonna be great for
Well,
here.
I mean, I
I
guess
know
maybe
he does
Bobby
for
didn't
y'all.
respond the way he needed to.
that's what he'll do for y'all, but not for me. I mean, my body's hard to crack in that way that it does hold on quite a bit, but the weight is going down. He said I'm on track, which he's never said that before, which is a good sign. So I'm gonna trust him because honestly, looking at myself, I can't see anything. Like I went completely blind. I don't know what I'm looking at. Like people will say things, and I'm like what? Like what are you talking about? Like, oh, well, look at vascularity. I'm like, there's not one vein on my body. What?
It's
I
in your
I
posing
literally
videos, your
I can't,
updates for your YouTube. You can see it. Your legs
I
are really
can't
starting to shine.
I can't see shit, bro. I
Let's-
look and I see just I don't know how to explain. I don't see any. I see me, but I don't see. I can't tell if it's big, small, lean.
I know what
I-
you need.
What's that?
You need a quarter pounder.
Yeah, see?
No.
Then you'll see it.
Sodium
I
load.
don't know if that happens to y'all. Like in the past, I had an idea. I didn't know exactly how I looked, but I had an idea. But I was coaching myself. So now that I'm not coaching myself, I'm not even looking at myself besides the check-in. So it's different. I used to wake up, make sure I have some lines in my quads. I don't do any of that. So I'm just trusting what my coach says, basically, and everybody else. So everybody else seems to be like surprised in a good way. So
Are you
I
going
gotta
to
make
be at
something.
Fit Nation this week?
I want to say yes, but I can't make any promises that I
What
could get to that gym in one piece.
you've been training at Zoo Culture?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pretty
I
much,
want
exclusively.
to take a look at you. I'm gonna make Paul come with me.
Sure. I mean, you guys can come take a look if you want.
Less than
Yeah,
30
let's
days, baby. It's already here. It's flying. It's less than 30
Oh
days.
no. Oh, don't get it twisted. I'm not on some like, oh, I can't wait for it to be over. I can
Yeah.
do this shit for another 6 months, motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is light work. At the end of the day, I mean, we signed up for this. I ain't signed up.
Hell yeah.
I didn't sign up for this because I'm a pussy, you know. At the end of the day, I could take some suffering. That's nothing new for me, you know. It just it hurts, you know, if I'm being honest. But it's nothing new. It's not new for me.
You know what's fucked up is so Beatty, really good friend of mine, and I have another good friend of mine, Brett. You guys, I don't know if Ken was on that podcast or Brady. I know Alyssa
if they
was
were, yeah.
with Brett,
I was
but
here,
Brett,
yeah.
he worked on me. I don't know if you guys saw my story. So he worked on me. He does body work. Anybody in the area want to give him a try? LA area, but he's the same weeks out as Beatty. They're both doing USAs, both super heavies, and it's just fucking crazy because he literally went over his whole plan with us yesterday,
Complete
telling us what
opposite.
just. It is like, it's like me and Paul, except you're worse than me. Mine's pretty bad. Yours is way worse. But
And then Brett is on his metabolism is crazy,
bro,
What
I
the
mean,
fuck?
that should tell you everything, right? He did deep tissue work on me, and
How?
Paul back.
I can't even let somebody work on me because I feel so shit. I couldn't even let you work on me, let alone work on you. You know what I'm saying? It's
Full on
crazy to think about that.
conversation, like actual pressure was being applied. Like I said,
That's
he worked
wild.
on Paul right after. Like, so it's just but dude, it's
That's crazy.
And he's
That's
4
crazy
weeks
how it
out.
works.
well, yeah, you guys are both 4 weeks out now, right? Is it 4?
I think if you
No,
stay
no.
busier,
28
like
28 days, I
you
think.
can't focus on the pain so much of the prep. Just staying busy, doing shit.
Okay,
A
see,
body in motion is a body at work, right? So I mean, there's
whoa.
something to
Okay, we're gonna stop right there because that's what you say. That's what you say when you're on 300 carbs.
And
It's a
you
difference.
have
Sometimes there is no motion. Sometimes
and
like
5 guys every
you
week.
can't. And sometimes
And 5
you
guys every
can't.
week, man.
Sometimes you can't physically stand up. There's like I can't, like I said, I can't physically drive myself to Fit Nation. You know what I'm saying? That's not like that's just you just can't function. There is a wall that you'll hit if you're empty enough that it's
Do
a
you
wrap.
have on Instagram your recent updates that we can look at?
I'm sure I got some somewhere. Oh, my
Let's see what you're looking like.
my YouTube is the most
Updated.
revealing. Not it's not as updated, but it's more revealing, right? Would you say that, Joe? Like it shows
Why is-
everything.
I don't say that's so slutty like that.
No, because well, because in my head, Instagram is like I'm showing you a piece. I don't necessarily want to show you everything.
Cleavage. I'll show you the cleavage, but you ain't gonna see the whole titty until you go to YouTube. I
Oh,
get it.
bro! I mean, since we're talking about titties and cleavage, man, the whole fuck Fuad and Nick,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
bro. Oh my god!
Oh,
dying.
It's gonna get really out of hand really fast, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it already did. It already did.
Dude.
It already did.
Yeah, bro. I mean, what?
I
I
saw
don't
a
know
video
if
of Nick
that's
Trigilli getting touched by a dude. It's already out of hand, bro. That was on Instagram. It was on their
Wait,
page.
I
but
don't
like
think Nick cares.
y'all didn't know about that? Like,
No,
is
I
that a
mean-
thing
I
that
mean,
people
we
don't know
knew.
about?
It's just the fact that he went like that far. Like he's like, you know what, motherfucker, you want to talk shit? Here we fucking go.
That would be
And
like
what-
somebody putting like Kai Green with the grapefruit on their Instagram. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
it's wild.
like, okay.
Yeah.
That was a different level of petty, man. I was like,
What did
damn.
Nick?
Yeah.
What did Nick even do for that to happen?
He
I'm
was talking
assuming it was
about
the Sam Solik thing, right?
yeah, he made a video about Sam Sulek leaving Hostile and how Hostile the bad company and the whole nine. Listen, Nick can take it, but he can dish it, but he can take it too. Like if I'm being completely honest, that shit doesn't bother him at all.
No, I don't. He loves that shit,
Honestly,
honestly.
he doesn't care.
It
Like
was
he
one of
is-
those things
he is
like
who
negative
he is,
publicity
bro.
is
I
social
respect it.
publicity, right? Yeah.
he would legit post that video himself. You know,
Yeah.
he's spoken about it. He's spoken
You're
about
not
it.
lean, bro. Look at
So,
you.
okay, yeah.
You got veins in your chest,
Okay,
veins in
yeah.
your arms.
Dude, your leg looks good.
Yeah, I don't.
You know, Beatty, I didn't until I
can't
saw
really
you
say
in
thanks.
person. I didn't realize how good your hammies were.
It looks better in person.
Yeah,
Well, I know, just like the last time you came down to pose at Fit Nation, I was like, holy shit! I didn't know you had hanging hammies like that.
Well, because you know what would happen. The same would happen for my legs and back in total. It would be there, and then I would lose it. I would lose it in prep, right? So it's weird. People are like,
Yeah, that's why.
if anytime I would be like obviously I'd be like, oh, I'm trying to bring up my back or my legs, and people are like, wait, you trying to bring up your back? I'm like, yeah, but then it's different on stage. This is the first year where it actually stuck, right? It's because, like I said, I gave somebody else my prep instead of just killing myself, you know. I'll let somebody else kill me, but he kills me. He kills me in a smarter way, right? If that
He
makes
knows
sense.
how far to push you before he has to pull back, compared to someone just to yourself just driving because
Yeah, it's hard to leave that responsibility to yourself. But I talked about this on a podcast with Compton. When you have bodies who can eat a lot more food and less cardio, those people do a lot better prepping themselves. Like Alyssa says she works for the coach, but we all know Alyssa can prep herself.
I prep myself for the guest posing, and then I let my coach take after that. But I fucked up my own peak for that because when I travel, I don't eat, and I already don't eat on top of not eating. So I didn't eat enough, and I showed up flat to my own guest posing.
not that somebody who needs to bring their food lower can't prep themselves, but it will be a lot more difficult to know how hard to push because you're either going to feel bad for yourself. Oh my God, I'm miserable. I can't survive.
Opposite.
Yeah, or you might do what I did and be like, well, I don't want to show up not in shape again, so let me do something completely way too far, way too crazy.
Yeah.
So
Well, also sometimes the feeling doesn't match the look. You might not feel driven to the
Yes.
ground, but you look like ass. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
need
yeah,
food,
yeah.
but you don't want to eat because you don't feel like shit.
yeah, okay, yeah, for sure.
That's
And
the
it-
worst when you start. Well, like when you're getting close to the show, you're like, I don't feel like I feel shitty enough. Like I feel like something's off. I need to
Yeah.
do something.
That's
Well,
me right now.
And then here's the weird thing: when you feel too shitty, you start to think for whatever reason. It's a weird mental thing. When you feel your worst, that's when you look your best. But when you feel shitty, you start to feel like you look shitty, right? Because you just feel, you're so
It's almost
fucked
like
up
you're like,
mentally.
fuck, I must be strung out. Like I must look like shit.
Exactly, because you feel empty. Like touch yourself and you're so empty. You don't realize that you don't look like that. you actually look better. But in your head, it's like, oh damn, I look shitty. So you don't want that correlation to happen because now you're gonna do something stupid like, or maybe I need to push down harder or fill up harder or something like that. So for me, coaching myself is just off. It's off the menu. I tried it so many times and it's just too much for me to manage for myself. And there's too much emotion. Like, you gotta be shredded. Your emotions are up and down. It's too much. So I want to leave.
You know, even on that interview or whatever, I guess you would say that coaching call with Justin, he even said himself that the mornings he would wake up and look at himself, he would stress himself out a little bit. Like, fuck, I see what I look like, but I'm kind of having a hard time deciding what I need to do.
Yeah.
And already, bro, like the fact that you have to worry, it's like that's already going to cause problems.
Yeah.
You're gonna, especially towards the end, you're gonna start second guessing some of the shit you do. Like, fuck.
Okay,
But then
so
it's like
like
it's a lot easier to blame someone else when they fuck it up for you. You
so I did a
motherfucker.
guest posting
Makes you
like
feel a lot better about yourself too.
so six weeks ago or so. I did a guest posing at the Kukla Classic, and I prepped for it for about 6 to 8 weeks. I forget, probably about 7 weeks. The day of the show, I couldn't. In my head, because I'm a woman still, I think I'm fat. So like I don't want to eat what I should eat, like muffins and more food, and just go eat downstairs at the diner or whatever. And I wasn't doing that. So I had guest post twice. So in the morning show, I was completely flat, couldn't pose because I couldn't feel myself. So I literally just went back to my room. I was like, dude, I'm fucking hungry. And I went downstairs to the bar and I just got this big ass bowl of pasta, shrimp, and chicken. I ate the whole bowl. Next thing I know, an hour later, I go back up on stage, dude. I was blasting full, tight veins, like just a completely different physique. And it was insanely different. Like, I'm not dry from the back, but from the front, I was way more conditioned and like the muscle was like pushing up against the skin. And I just completely just stopped giving a fuck. Not giving a fuck sometimes just makes you look good too. Nope, low cortisol.
I remember I asked Compton, I was like, do you think you would have looked better with a coach? And it's like, well, that depends because for what he would have needed from that coach to look better, it would have been too much to ask, right? Because he was making changes on the fly daily. And let's be real, like you're gonna be hard pressed to find a coach that's gonna be watching you daily for the entire prep. Now,
Go ahead, sorry.
Now, if somehow he had that, then I think he would look better. But you're not gonna have a living coach that's gonna live with you for 12 weeks.
I think if I were to do ever in my life, which I honestly don't think I will, but if I were to ever coach myself for a show, because I'm really cool with Justin, on those moments where I wake up and kind of I'm wishy-washy about what I want to do, I'll ask him what he thinks I should do. And then probably go with that in those moments. But now I know I have him in my corner like that, so I know he'd help me in the best way. But that's the only way I would do it by myself.
Well, then
kind of like James Hollingshead, I guess.
I was gonna say then don't do it by yourself. Just work with him.
No, that's what I'm saying. If I were to ever do it, I'd hit him up. if I was
I'm just
really
fucking with
worried.
you.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking with you. All right, let me see if they got anything up about this show. Any more shit?
Why is it so late on a Sunday? Because they're ahead of us. So the prejudging started at Sunday night. That's a
Yeah,
little
that's
bit
kind of
out of the question, right?
out of character. Yeah. Hmm.
Behrouz in
So
that
so
angle, Behrouz looks like he's eating them up.
Yeah.
He looks huge, huh?
Hey, big. Yeah.
I think it's just that angle, though. You can tell it's a little bit to the right of the stage towards him.
It is. Yeah.
so
He
is
got
Behrouz.
he got the favorable angle.
That's tight.
You know what I like? You know what I like about Nathan so much is he kind of reminds me of Conor McGregor. It's just Nathan's his accent makes it even better. Like how fast he talks, you can't really understand what he's saying. I love how he backs it up.
Yeah, it
I
does.
think it's interesting how Behrouz switches sides for the side chest to the side try. Did you notice that?
No, he does something weird.
No, he goes so his
He
side
gets
chest he hits
sloshed
it
in the
from the
back.
left, and then the side try he hits it from the right. Like he actually switches.
His lats get
Typically,
sloshed by Nathan's. Sorry.
Wait, he
people
hits his
typically
side
hit.
chest from the left to the right.
Did you notice that? So when you hit your side chest, right? People hit their side chest and side try on at the same plane
I
where they're
actually don't.
standing.
I switch.
Oh, you switch? But you
Yeah,
do Dorian
so
style, right? You do a Dorian style side try, right?
yeah, but the reason I switch is it's a mobility thing. For some reason, I can latch on and turn the fuck out of my torso and shoot my arm straight down
Hmm.
to on my right side, and my left I can't. It's like really awkward. Like I tried it so many times and I just can't do it. So because the way they have us transition, where it's front, uh, side, back to the side, I just keep going in a clockwork motion. So you
Hmm.
never really notice until you, I guess, really pay that close attention.
Yeah, because see here, he'll do the side chest facing Nathan, and then he'll probably switch. And side try, see, he turns around and
Yeah.
then does it the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I do the same thing, except I do
That's
the
interesting.
Dorian style.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They both having a little trouble controlling their midsection and transitions. Who you guys got though?
I still think Nathan's got it. My opinion hasn't changed.
The videos, man. Online, I feel like Behrouz looks a lot better on screen, but I feel like in person, Nathan's better. I just get that feeling from a thickness standpoint. Because look, like just looking, I feel like Behrouz just looks harder and structurally sound. But
Because he
I don't
is.
know, man. I feel like Nathan is just so thick. He's just so thick.
Behrouz is harder and he is more structurally sound. I guess Nathan is beating him off of everything else besides that.
Muscularity. Yeah,
Muscularity, roundness.
It's fun to watch. You guys watch Nathan's training videos? He's strong as fuck, but he lives so
Yeah.
old school.
Yeah, it's pretty
Those
instinctive.
UK guys, man, they don't do any of this science
They
machine,
don't,
dude.
bro.
They don't do
That's why
any of that, bro.
But you know what? There is a difference between him and James Hollingshead. Like James Hollingshead is like a picture perfect form with
Yeah,
crazy heavyweight, and then Nathan is just kind of like a juggernaut. He
yeah.
just fucking slings it. So, but they're both hard and heavy, right? So it's dope. I love UK guys. The only one that's not like that actually is Samson.
Oh,
Samson
That is
does.
true.
He he
what's
lifts
my
like
Sam?
moderately heavy with a bunch of volume.
That's true.
Yeah. I thought
Speaking of,
he did an interview with Hani and he spoke about that.
Yep, that's what
yeah,
I was referring to.
Uh,
that was a really good interview, with Samson. I don't think he's ever really opened up about his um
not
his
even
past
close.
his past, right, in terms of how he got to the UK and his family support towards bodybuilding, his relationship with his father. I think for anyone, if you're a bodybuilding fan, you definitely got to see that podcast. That was really good. Like people don't realize, like even for Samson, right? Like he was saying how even when he had already turned pro, his father still didn't see how good he was, right? He was like, well, okay, you won this pro show, but how much did you make, right? It's like, to now he's like third best in the world, and now he's finally been accepted. It's like, man, it's you don't know what people are going through unless you're in their lives, you know. Um, that was a really good podcast. Like I was actually having my deep tissue work while I was listening to the thing, and it's shout out to Samson, man, for being so open. I don't think he's ever spoken that candidly about his life.
You know, Samson also put up a post recently. He's wearing like a hostile hoodie or whatever. If you read the caption, he talks about like going to the gym means him or whatever, and it really ties in with everything. So people that like there's more to a bodybuilder than just like trying to make money or going in for a look or trying to impress anybody. Like Samson didn't do that to impress his dad or try to get his dad's approval. He just did it because he absolutely needed it. And there's something to be said about that to everybody that's at the top. I guarantee you, Hottie, Chupin, there's way more to that man than the hard work that we see. I wish he spoke more English or English in general. I'd really like to hear his story.
I don't think you get into this sport if you don't have a deeper reason to love training. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think it happens. But I feel like that passion, it comes from a lot of pain for like, at least I'd say probably a good 75 to 85% of us. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, like we got to be a little bit crazy to do this, and you don't just be born crazy. You know, trauma makes you crazy.
Yeah. I was talking because Samson was saying on that pod, right, how his father was like something along the lines of, is this how a man should live? Right. Like, and I think that was the last time he spoke to his dad, like when he first started competing, like for a couple of years.
He said, if you had a son like I do, would you would you be proud?
Yeah. Which is so deep, right? Like that's very hard to take, right? That's really hard to take.
It's hard to talk about, especially if he still has a relationship with his dad too. That's fucking hard to do.
Yeah. But me and Sid were talking, right? And it's kind of like, you realize, man, like a lot of bodybuilders, we all have a lot of, I don't want to say father problems, but a lot of us have things that steer us to this path.
Trauma.
It's almost like
Brady said.
trauma, right? Like it's almost like the words we used was, we didn't exactly have a model of what a man should be. So we took this upon ourselves, and this is our vision of what that should be, you know, and that's why a lot of us become so extreme with, you know, the muscle and I don't want to say the macho thing, but like a lot of us try to be a man's man, right? So I found that pretty interesting, because if you, and I'm not calling anyone's thing out there, but if you look across the history of the Olympias, right, the Mr. Olympias, and if you really know bodybuilding, a lot of them really didn't have like strong like father relationships, like relationships with your fathers. Like
I didn't even think about that. I've never thought about that, but I mean, right? you actually kind of have a good point. I guess you put it like that.
Yeah,
it never crossed my mind.
It's pretty interesting. It's just an interesting thing. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. But I mean,
ego. It's a little bit ego. It's and not in a bad way. I don't mean that in a bad way. Ego. I mean
a little bit.
Bro. I mean, but it's very like, you know what I mean. You want to prove also that like I can be a man, or that you can you can do something. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of maybe extraordinary at a different measure than most people can understand. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Almost kind of like being a superhero. It's literally it's like becoming Superman. You become, you know what I mean? You literally are physically trying to become your own Superman, your own father, or your own protector, your own big brother, your own best friend. Like whatever trauma I think that happened, I could definitely see that having to do a little bit with maybe not necessarily just like being a father, but having that sense of trying to create a superhero or somebody that you can look up to. Because maybe you didn't have that, or maybe, something happened with that. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like I feel like the word ego is always taken really negatively, right? Like once people hear ego, it's like, oh, that's negative, but like not necessarily. Like you have to have a certain amount of ego, right? It's like if you say pride,
Yes.
nobody takes pride negative. Pride is like, yeah, prideful,
Yep.
but ego and pride go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So it's like ego doesn't mean like you're like this. I don't know, like like a fucking tool or something. That's not
No,
what ego.
but
And it doesn't have to be for anybody else. I'll be in an empty gym. I've been in an empty gym plenty of times, and then I can ego lift in an empty gym. It doesn't have to be cameras or anybody watching. It's more so my own pride, basically, making me do these
Banging your
things. And
chest.
yeah,
well,
for me
bro, I
to know,
think
like,
ego drives from your like it's derived from your own person, right? If you don't have an ego, you don't have a
yeah, who are
personality.
you?
Like it
Who are you as a
pushes
man?
you, it pushes you as a man. Exactly. So it's like, for example, talk about ego lifting, right? I don't get under that weight to prove anything to anybody. I get under that weight to prove to myself that I'm man enough to be able to handle some shit like this. I can
Exactly,
fucking do this shit, and no one's gonna
exactly,
stop me. Like, because I believe like I can. Like that's ego, but it's a
100%.
positive manner of ego. It drives you.
Yeah,
It separates you from everyone else.
I think I talked about it. I don't know if I I'm pretty sure I talked about it in one of the YouTube videos. I don't know if I edited it out or what, but I was talking about. I noticed I get to a point in prep where I start getting these little injuries and shit because I keep training heavier. Why the fuck are you training heavier? It's like the shittier I feel, now I have to prove something to myself. Like, yo, nah. You're not a real man if you start backing out from the weight. Just because or you're hungry or you feel like shit. So it makes me do the opposite. No. I hit 160 off these, I'm gonna go fucking 170s. And I'm not saying it's a smart thing to do. Huh?
But we do it. We all do it.
That's what I'm saying. Huh?
Results are
Oh,
out, guys. Who do you
Behrouz,
think
Oh,
won before? Yeah, who do you think won? Let me ask you
Nathan.
guys before. Nathan,
Behrouz.
Behrouz, Brady, Nathan,
Nathan.
Behrouz won.
What?
Oh shit! Hey,
I'm not mad about
hey,
it at all.
no, what did I tell you? If because it is a subjective sport to a point, right? So I said I would want Behrouz, but I think bodybuilding criteria is going to give it to Nathan. But I'm very happy with that, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you see how it's strange because when Bonac beat Behrouz, I'm like, I don't know. I'd have had Behrouz winning. But in
I
this one,
heard
I'm
that
kind of,
Bonac was way tighter in person, though. I heard Bonac was like
yeah, me
light
too.
years tighter.
I did. I
Mariah.
mean, he definitely was tighter than Nathan. I don't think that's even. He definitely tight. Then Nathan is just super full and round. They definitely went with that look, that New York Pro look he bought. You know what I'm saying? But it's like your emotions sway. Like you feel bad for Behrouz because he lost to Bonac, and then now you feel bad for Nathan, and that because I feel like we like all these guys, right? Like we
Yeah,
literally
but
like all of them.
it's literally like I guarantee you, it came down to that pretty look that Behrouz has, and then he's fucking crazy
It's just
conditioned.
so balanced.
Like, yeah, man, that balance itself.
Same.
So
Brady,
again, I'm glad they went with it, but I didn't think they would.
Behrouz
go
insane.
to Marios, he's the photographer for the show. Moraia. He has the photos and the awards. He has like HD photos.
MO what?
Moriau photo. He shot for the Olympia. He's the guy who shot the Olympia as well.
I need to invest in a computer. That way I can talk to you guys through the computer. Because I want to be
Me
able to see
too,
it.
bro.
I'm getting tired of this
Yeah.
phone shit.
Yeah, Joe, you gotta upgrade,
I hate-
man.
I'm working on it.
Oh, he got good. Holy shit.
Yeah, he got the photos, bro. Like,
Let's see it.
this is
You got
so
the
that's
real photos.
comparisons.
Damn. Oh, this is the high quality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marios. Where the hell you was at the Cal show, Marios?
Fuck, man, for real. Everybody's tan looks good.
Time out. Me and you both, buddy. Our tans were bad.
No.
So, look,
In the
this is what I
pictures.
told everybody. Our tans were phenomenal. I loved tan creations. They do amazing every time. And I show people, look, they did my USAs and they did this too. And it was the lighting.
It was
and
the lighting.
pictures.
My tan was great too. I did pro tan. My tan at the hotel or the Airbnb was darker than it's ever been. And then we got on stage, bro, and I looked terrible. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it
'Cause
was it was either the lighting
there's
or the
no way that was just me.
yeah.
No,
So when
no.
people hated on Stu's tan and shit, I'm like, dude, I saw Stu. Like his tan was phenomenal. It's
He was
just
dark. He was very dark.
yeah.
Hey man,
I'd throw that in there.
yeah, Behrouz is shredded, shapely. I mean, he's a really fucking good bodybuilder, man.
I
He's up
think
there.
I think when I look at the actual HC photos, because he has the first call outs with Behrouz and Nathan, I think the midsection is where he kind of got him a
I'm
lot.
thinking so too.
I can see
Nathan looks a little
Yeah.
washed, and especially when he's stretched open.
Yeah.
But see Behrouz's look, man, his arms big, quads flaring out, like just fucking beautiful.
Damn, I didn't know his arms were that big because Nathan got big.
I know,
arms.
right?
Yeah, because this is shot head on, so we can see them like head
Mhm.
on, you know.
I'm
Yeah,
going
Behrouz
Behrouz.
is- man,
Behrouz,
Behrouz is
like
a big man.
I'm not
Behrouz
gonna
is a
lie,
big man.
Behrouz, and I brought him up earlier. Brett has that shape. Brett has that potential. The guy that Beatty's gonna go against.
Yeah. Oh, Apex, bro. I thought you said Brett Wilkin.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
No. Well, Brett Wilkin actually, that's actually a good comparison too. He's kind of like that too.
Yeah.
And Nathan's waist used to be like a little smaller at this area right here. The obliques used to be a little tighter,
Yeah.
but they also pushed the fullness hard. Okay, maybe they should have went for
Yeah.
sharpness. I guess.
Yeah, you
hindsight's
can tell
2020.
it seemed like he's a tad sharper here. That's what but you know, when you see Behrouz, because he's so structurally sound, you don't think he's big. You don't think of him as like a big guy. But
Hey, what do
He
you
is,
guys
pretty big,
what do you
man.
guys think about pulling your hips back on a rear lat spread? Go back to that rear lat spread because they're both doing it different.
Like shooting your ass out.
So my back looks way better. I have a really wide back. When I push my hips forward, tuck my pelvis, but when I pull my pelvis back to get my adductors out, it pulls out my erectors a little bit, just like as far as like detail goes. But I lose a lot of like the look. What do you guys like better here? Do you like it better on Nathan, where he's kind of more rounded and pelvis tucked, or do you like Behrouz hips back and kind of chest up a little more?
Behrouz
It
is
depends
hitting
what
it
you-
better, in my opinion. I think what's his name is too far forward, where he actually takes away from his width.
Well,
He brings up his
it's
mid back
it's
and
not
around.
it's not one size fits all. You do what's best for your physique. Same way in the front poses, right? Some people in the front double, front relax, they shoot their hips back to create a smaller waist. But if you have small legs, you shouldn't do that because you're gonna lose adductors, right? So same for here. If your glute fat or if your glutes are shredded, where it looks like Nathan's glutes aren't nearly as peeled as Behrouz. So if he was flexing his glutes hard, he wouldn't get anything out of it. You know, he would actually get more from showing his adductors technically because his glutes aren't like crazy peeled. So it depends on what you have.
And keep in mind, Nathan has a long torso. So if he just stands kind of like out there, sometimes his lats could appear a little bit higher. So he's trying to fill everything out. That's why I think he's kind of standing a little bit with the hips a little bit more tilted out versus going all the
Makes
way
sense. It makes sense for Nathan here. He doesn't have the
Yeah.
best adductors and hammies, so he's trying, at least from behind. So he's trying to show it. And Behrouz, actually, I think he should just squeeze as hard as possible because who cares about adductors when your glutes look like that?
in. He's not
I
squeezing
think-
those glutes at all, bro.
He's not.
Like you could,
He's not.
he's
Play
not
harder and
squeezing-
push
you could
forward.
see- yeah.
That's exactly what that's kind of the point I was going to make, because I think if Behrouz tucked his pelvis way under him and just focused purely on glutes and opening his back up, I think he can make this pose look 1,000 times better.
I agree. What he does is he stands on both toes. He's trying to flex his hamstrings and adductors. He's trying to flex everything but his glutes. He's flexing his both calves and hamstrings and adductors.
And they're still
but not
not
the
peeled.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
why it's interesting because Behrouz's glutes are massive, so it's not like you know what I mean. Like if he flexed them, he's not giving up any real estate at all in any of those shots. Yeah,
No. Yeah, but look, I mean, I know he's bigger structurally, but muscularity wise, I mean, he looks bigger. I'm not even gonna lie.
I
Like,
think
it is
because of his
close.
structure, he looks bigger.
But
Yeah,
I think he still would have won this shot. I think he's still bigger in this shot.
yeah, he is. I mean, he's bigger in a lot of shots, man.
He is. Honestly, I mean, seeing these pictures, I'm almost every pose I kind of went within minus maybe two.
I like
Yeah.
Nathan's side tricep better, but other than that, I think everything else looks pretty good.
I
Yeah.
still have to go with Nathan on the front double, but Behrouz does have a very, very, very good front double.
I feel like Behrouz's front double is picture perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like,
Yeah,
I just
I'm
like
that's
Nathan's
the
legs a little bit
perfect
more.
shot.
I like Nathan's legs a little more adductor. But maybe that's
You got
because I'm a
the-
small leg guy. So small leg guys, we like to see massive legs because we got small legs. We got to live vicariously through everybody else.
I feel
Nathan
I
have-
feel like the front double always exposes how good or how bad someone's structure is.
There's,
It
you
like
can't hide
shows
anything.
everything.
You can't hide
Yeah,
anything
you
in that
can't.
shot.
I agree
Nathan,
entirely.
Nathan
There's a reason
definitely
it's the
have
first
better,
shot.
Yeah.
And Christian Wolski's out of the top 5 here. It seems like he must have been off.
This is what his fourth show now, or third.
Third, he did New York, Cali, and this one.
I'm interested in to see how Stu's going to do going into this. Will be his third one, right?
Yeah.
Because how often do you see?
Floppy
This is
said.
how often do you see people get better after the second one?
I think
You know what I'm
I think he
saying?
said
Hmm.
I think he said because Stu took a little bit of a break in between,
Yeah,
which helped.
that's
I
what I'm
think
hoping.
Yeah. I think he may be either the same or a touch better, but Stu's physique too, I feel like because he gets in shape so early, he doesn't have to suffer a lot towards the later ends of a prep, so he can carry that look for an extended period of time.
Yeah, because I've always wondered myself. Because I think Dexter Jackson spoke about it. Doing shows no farther apart than 4 weeks, like that's the max he would push it. Because when you do hold that conditioning after a while, even though you're not digging down any deeper, it does take a toll. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm bringing it up, because I've never done it myself. But I'm watching Stu do multiple shows. It was back to back at first, and then now he's got a little break. And I saw it work for Martin, 4 weeks in between shows. So I'm just curious as to how long you can do that for before it starts hurting you. Kind of like Justin Rodriguez, how eventually it just starts hurting him. So
I'm sure Stu's
Sean
curious
Rodriguez
as well.
started the year off kind of grinding his gears a little bit, man. I mean, I like the dude as a dude, but he wasn't good from day one this year.
I mean, I'm sure Stu's curious as well because he said it on the pod too, right? It's kind of like this is his first time doing multiple shows like this. So, I mean, we'll see. And obviously, Joe, all of us here, we all live through each other. So,
yeah. So
experience for ourselves. Yeah,
exactly. And you know what? And
Yeah.
the second part to this, Stu was fucking like ready 5 or 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
And you got to keep that in mind too, right? So he's not just been like ready by the show day; he was ready way before. And so I just hope he doesn't get burned out at all.
Joe, you're leaving out one important thing though. That Stu gets to eat a lot of food on his diet. He hasn't been doing any cardio, and he's actually been eating more and more. He hasn't been, so he was ready early, but he's been eating more and more since that. And every show he's gonna eat more and more. So I think if it's somebody like Justin Rodriguez or myself who's having to just cut and cut and cut, like last year I did 9 weeks apart, and I had to just keep pulling, you're fucked. There's no chance you're gonna look better. But for Stu, I actually think he's gonna look better because he's getting fresher. So he's not beat up. You know what I'm saying? He's actually getting fresher.
That's good.
Because he's doing less and eating more. So if anything, if he's feeling better, well, I don't know how he's feeling emotionally and shit, but I'm saying like.
So see how like I brought this up because he's not on, right? Stu was always on, and that's what he was digging. This is what I'm watching, so this is why I bring it up.
Mentally, yeah. Now,
So
mentally,
you're a good friend, aren't you, buddy? You're one of those friends. Like you're somebody that grabs water when people drank too much at a bar.
Yes, I have.
You're a good dude. I like you for that.
Thank you, bro.
I
want my buddies to succeed, bro. We all work hard at this shit. So if you're in my circle,
sure.
I'm all for you. I just don't want you to hurt yourself on the way up. Like how can I help you get better by putting my opinion out there?
Facts. I
Mental
think
health checks are a big thing in my life too. So I appreciate just you saying that. Just paying attention to where he's at mentally. That's a good dude, man.
Oh
Good
yeah,
reps.
thanks.
now,
Appreciate it.
now, unfortunately, mentally, he is going to continue taking a hit because, like he said the last time he was on, he was like, just he's been ready so long, just holding it. Mentally, he never said physically, but mentally, it's taking a hit. Like he just has to hold it and hold it and hold it and hold it,
Yeah.
almost to the point that he would rather actually be pushing than holding it. So Alyssa said that the last time she was on as well. Just she's getting bored and tired mentally of just holding the condition. So mentally, I think you will continue to take a hit, but as long as physically you're good, then hopefully you just keep getting better.
Yeah, it's funny. We all talked about when we were on prep. Well, as me and Paul and stuff, and even Stu, how much the podcast helps, right? Because you become like a zombie to the world, but in your world, it's like, all right, cool. This is my little getaway. Like I can talk to people I relate to compared because you start to feel fucking lonely not doing shit. Like going out and actually being yourself and sociable. But when you're on here and stuff, it's cool. So it's just like you can tell. I was like, shit, if Stu's not on here, fuck.
That's why, Joe. It's interesting because 6 months ago, I don't know if you guys recall. For the viewers, we've been doing this podcast now for at least half a year, and before anyone got into prep, I remember how Beatty was so concerned that he wasn't even going to be able to keep doing the podcast, like keep the thing running. And here you are, less than 30 days to the USAs, and you've kept the thing going twice a week. So I don't know. There's just a testament to how everyone this year, like all you guys that have been in prep, have just been able to just keep the grindstone down and just commit. You know what I mean? To commit to this thing. So it's awesome, man. I'm proud of all of you. Every single one of you competed this year. I'm so proud of you guys.
It's pretty crazy because you don't think you could do it, but like you almost like want to do it because like fuck, this gives me life. It really did help me.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it regardless. Like I'll wake up positive. I can't do it today, but I'm gonna do it. And even if I sit here like this, like I did for like 10 minutes like this, I'm still gonna fucking do it. I don't give a fuck, At end of the day, I know what helps me in life is not giving a fuck. I don't give a flying fuck. So if I'm filming a YouTube video and I have nothing to say, I say nothing, and I just post it. So if I sit here and I feel like shit, and I can't get the words out, and I can't get the words out of my mouth, I'm gonna sit here like this. And if somebody asks why are you quiet, I'm like, I can't talk. It is what it is. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm gonna say I can't talk, and then y'all gonna talk, and then we'll wrap it up, even if it's fucking 40 minutes. I'm still going to do it. I'm not gonna not do it. But it might be a little different, but it's going up. It's going up twice a week, every fucking week, and it's gonna keep going.
Can you get real quiet when you're deep in prep? Like you get real quiet and like to yourself and shit, or would you be able to still talk on camera and stuff? You think?
Bro, Joe, man, that's the thing. I'm a different person.
You don't know, right?
I don't know, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could ask Beatty because Beatty saw me getting ready for USAs where kind of like Stu, I was ready like 5-6 weeks out. And I become a different person too. Like I put my big headphones on. I don't even talk to Paul. So it's just like, you never know.
Yeah. So we'll see next year because, dude, like that's why I'm looking at you guys and I'm just so proud of you guys because all of you were worried. Outside of Stu, all of you were worried about how this was going to happen during your preps. Joe and Paul, you guys are done now. Beatty's going into his, Stu is continuing his extended season, and you guys have still been here. So it's like that tells me, like myself too, like my next time going into prep, I'm like, damn, I got to commit, just do it. Just fucking do it. Even if you're feeling like shit, just show up. Just show up.
Yeah.
So
my thing is that what I had to come to terms with is shit don't have to be perfect. We always want to make some shit perfect. I want to start a YouTube, but I want to make sure I have my camera guy, I don't just stop it. Just do it. Just do it with your phone. And then when you get the camera, get it. When you get the camera, you just, do it anyway. So so in the past, I would just completely stop posting because I'm like, I don't have it in me. But what don't I have in me? I don't want to wear my mic. I don't want to talk to the camera. So don't. My last YouTube video, the last video I filmed, I couldn't be bothered. I don't want to talk to the camera. I don't want to wear a mic. I don't give a fuck. So guess what? I put the camera in one place, it didn't fucking move. I didn't hit record or not. I hit record once, I didn't stop or start it, and it was just there. That's all I could do that day, but I did it. Rather than say, I'm not gonna film anything. I'm gonna film it, right? Like I said with the podcast, I don't care if it's a 30-minute episode, it's going up. You know what I'm saying? Rather than me say, oh, if I can't do 2-3 hours, I'm not doing it. If it's a 20-minute episode, I'll do it. If it's a shit episode, I'm still gonna post it. You know what I'm saying? So regardless, you still do it. You can't even speak on what you can do tomorrow. My clients asking me how it's looking next week. I don't know. I'm sorry. It's on standby. You know what I'm saying? It's on standby.
On my time.
No, it is what it is. I'm just not going to promise anything, right? You know, so even now with any other podcast, I'm not doing any other podcasts because I just can't commit to it right now. So it's one of those things. You're gonna have to work with me, you know.
Yeah. Good shit.
Yeah, I want to do a couple questions.
Good. Sure. What'd you say?
I want to do a couple questions.
Oh yeah.
Of course, we're gonna have a shit ton of Nick Shajili and Sam Sulek questions. Yeah, but pretty much every question. Like, what thoughts? What does that mean? Thoughts? Like, he's not my son. There's no thoughts. He left the brand. I mean, you know, like I mean, what do you want us to say?
It's not like it was. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
At the end of the day, man, like people for some reason, right, want to throw the first thing when they see that they want to throw negative connotation at it. It's all perception. Like, how do you want to view it? People want to see drama, right? But it could have been something as simple as, you know what, Sam's doing really good on his own. Maybe he wants to make more money doing his own thing. It doesn't have to be a bad fallout or hostile.
Maybe he wants to start his own company.
That's why.
That's what I was going to say. So if you notice when Sam brought out that video, it's not like he severed his contract. He finished his contract and he did not renew. That is very different from cutting ties with your contract, walking away from your contract. So that's the first thing. Second, Sam is literally the biggest thing in fitness, in this fitness industry right now. I don't know if Sam can go to any company and retain him at this point if he doesn't have some ownership stake in that company. It just does not make sense. So for people to say that, oh, Fouad this, Fouad that, I don't know the internals of what's going on. But regardless of wherever Sam was, if he was a hostile, if he was an animal,
he's going to leave.
He's going to leave.
They can't pay him.
You cannot pay him. You cannot pay him.
There's no ROI on it. The amount that he would cost, there's no ROI for the company. It would make more sense than equity. It just, you know what I mean?
It's just common sense. I think me starting a record company, a fucking supplement company, like, oh, I want to go sign Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, no, you can't. It doesn't work that way. Like, you know what I mean? You get to a certain point where you can't be paid for in contract because you're the entire value. You know. Exactly. Now, okay, the other part of this, Sam is a grown man and he's very smart. I don't think people realize how smart he is. He's not some little kid trying to get help. When Fouad signed him, Sam didn't have 3 million followers. Okay, he didn't. He was at like 200K. That's a whole different beast. So he signed because he whatever was given at that time was mutually beneficial. You think he sat there and said, "Oh, this doesn't benefit me at all, so let me just make somebody else a bunch of money"? That's the dumbest shit ever. So whatever he saw at the time, he felt was like, this could be mutually beneficial. That's why he signed it. He's a grown fucking man. So everybody in hindsight is thinking, well, he must have had millions of followers back when he got signed. He didn't. You know what I'm saying? And it's irrelevant because he signed it because he wanted to. From what, like I said, what are you saying? So there's a reason why he signed. Now he's no longer with them. It's no longer, he no longer finds it mutually beneficial. That's fine. Somebody doesn't have to be right or wrong. It doesn't always have to be an issue. It's just, it happened. You signed it. Now you didn't even sign. No, they both helped each other in whatever way, right? Or he wouldn't have signed it if he didn't feel like it was benefit, right? Like, you guys are signing contracts to help somebody else. No, you're signing contracts to benefit yourself. That's why you signed a fucking contract. Common sense. So he signed it for his own benefit. They signed him for their own benefit. That's what business is, and it's mutually beneficial. That's what contracts are,
Makes sense.
mutually beneficial. This is why we signed with Dialed. We signed with Dialed because it benefited both of us. We didn't go, I'm going to make you a bunch of money, so I'm going to like use your fucking brain. That's not how it works. So they helped each other out, and now they don't work together. That's it. Problem solved.
Right. Well, mind you, it's a short contract to begin with, right? So obviously there was thought behind that to begin with from him of, hey, it probably had nothing. If I had to guess, it had nothing to do with money. He probably said, my Instagram sucks. My TikTok is great. My YouTube is great. My Instagram sucks. These guys do great on Instagram. This can blow my Instagram up and blow my name up and make my own money a lot more if I sign a small 6-month contract. You know what I mean? Get paid, get compensated, like you said, to where it's mutually beneficial, but it maybe not be the money. Like he walked into that with a thought process. Usually these contracts are a year with like another year pickup extension that they're able to pick up or like stuff like that. A 6-month contract is not a common thing.
No. Okay, so in the video, he said that he was like, now he has a whole legion of a network of people who he can ask questions and learn from, right? That's a positive, right? He was a 20-year-old kid. He didn't have this infrastructure to go, right? To go to UK and have booths here and meet people around the world and grow his fan base. It was going to grow, obviously, either way. But I'm just saying, there's a certain level that he was able to. Now he knows Seth Feroci and he knows this guy and personally, right? So now he can use that for the rest of his career.
Me and you literally talked about that. Like, there is things within working with somebody outside of financial reason to begin with.
That's why you should
especially for a certain period of time, to where this is enough time for all this to kind of happen, and then walk away. You do your part, they did their part, and everything's cool.
You both win.
And listen, Hostile. There was benefit on both ends, right? Like, I can only speak for myself personally. I would have never known who Sam Sulek was without Hostile. I don't do TikTok, right? Hostile put him in the bodybuilding space specifically, from the influencer TikTok stuff to bodybuilding. If you remember when Sam first came on, people were like, who the hell is this kid? To today, people are like, you know what? This Sam kid, I kind of like this guy. This guy is a bodybuilder at heart. He may not do everything like bodybuilders, but in his heart, the way he trains and the intention, he is a bodybuilder. And he got the support from our guys. So he benefited in that way, right? In the same way Hostile benefited from having him with his massive following and the TikTok and Sarm Goblin kids. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but the TikTok and teenagers, right? And then bringing all of them together to the company, right? So like you said, there's a mutually beneficial thing there. It was a year contract. It was a year. He finished his year. He did everything. He never spoke bad about the company. There's never been any problems. He just said, hey, listen, my contract is up and I'm done. And I don't know why that seems to be such a big deal. I don't understand. I don't understand why that's a big deal. Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny you said it, because I just realized that I wasn't following Sam until I saw the video that they signed him in that video. That's what made me actually follow him. So.
And you know why? Because Fuad attaching his name to it, Fuad's brand is based on sacrifice style regret, like that true grit mentality, kind of like Axis Sledge as well. And
hardcore bodybuilding.
Hardcore bodybuilding. And so he saw Sam as part of this young generation of the Sarm Goblins, but he was the different one. And so what he did was he took that old school mentality with Sam and brought it to the young generation that are watching him. And now he's pushing his hardcore bodybuilding supplement line towards the young generation now, trying to get it back to what it was compared to what it started becoming. So they both benefited. People are going to continuously use Hostile because of Sam and the younger generation compared to the competitive bodybuilders that were the only ones really going Hostile to start with because of what their brand represented. So he heavily benefited off of Sam, even with Sam being gone, because he got his supplements to be tried by the younger generation. And sometimes all you need to do is try it. But yeah, it was mutually beneficial. Even with him walking away, I don't believe Hostile is going to hurt I actually think it's going to give them an opportunity to sign more athletes, which will broaden their spectrum a little bit more. But
nobody lost here. It was a win for everybody. So it's weird that it has such a negative connotation where it's really all positive that came from it. There was no negative, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Perception. People are trying to put a negative spin.
I almost feel bad for Fuad because Hostile is the only company when people leave, there's this big thing, right? People leave companies every day, right? Regardless of whatever drama happens between the athlete and Hostile, listen, that happens with other companies as well. The only difference is people want to know what happened here. And then they try to paint someone as this thing or they did this. Listen, problems happen regardless of company. You talk to bodybuilders. We all talk amongst ourselves. You talk to people that have left contracts from older companies that they worked with. It's never pretty, bro. It's not always just like, oh, we just left. There may be some internal things that they were dealing with. The only difference is it doesn't get aired to the public like when it's with Hostile specifically. So sometimes I feel like it's a little bit unfair, to shed that light, the way that light is kind of shed on Hostile. But I don't know, man. I'm just speaking from the outside in. I don't know what's going on in there.
Playing devil's advocate. I mean, it's also Fuad does do the podcast. Fuad kind of lets that stuff be aired out. Where does that? It's the same with like social media. Everybody thinks they deserve to know people's personal stuff because of social media. I feel like with him being as open as he is with his life, his brand, the athletes, everything, it blurs that line of because people don't really do that with Seth. People don't do that with Seth, and Seth is. Bro, like I've never seen anything like what happens when Seth walks in a room full of people that like buyers. We'll call them consumers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We walk in a room full of consumers and not like other bodybuilders, people of our peers. It's weird what happens. And it's, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy how people flock and like are in love and obsessed. But yet and he gives them just enough of his personal life, but nobody really tries super hard to try to get into his real life. Where I feel like when you're more open, how Fuad is, it kind of opens that door and blurs that line a little bit. So I'm not saying it's his fault. I mean, that's like, you know what I mean? That's like the old, like, oh, what were you wearing? You were asking for it kind of thing. You know what I mean? But like, nobody wants you to invade their lives or their business like that. But like, when you're that open, sometimes it's something you just kind of almost have to accept and take on as well.
That's a fair point. I agree with that.
Well, everybody has to accept it because it's going to happen. So, it's you don't really have a choice, right? It's going to happen. But people
just want to do this anyways. People just want to do this anyways. Doesn't matter what it's about.
I guess the point is, it doesn't really matter why he left to anybody besides them.
PJ Braun did a podcast recently.
He did, yeah,
about him coming out of prisons. Very, very, very insightful. No, very, very insightful. Very, very insightful.
I've been wanting to watch it. I haven't seen it yet. PJ's been he started following me and he's been hyping up my recent updates and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a good feeling.
Great guy, man. Great guy. Like you can't help but feel very happy, like just his change, the way he perceives life now after such a low point that happened to him. I don't have anything to say out of it. Just that was a great podcast just to watch, and I'm glad PJ's home. So
one thing PJ actually messaged me was obviously we're talking about bodybuilding. He was talking about me doing my thing. He actually asked about my background, and he told me how like being in the gym when you've been out of the gym and it taken away for so long, it's like a kid in the candy store. And I'm like, obviously I can't relate to that too much other than like when you've done a long prep and you haven't had one cheat meal, that food tastes pretty fucking good by the time you get it.
Yeah. He's going to be on a podcast. Maybe I kind of want to wait till I'm after prep so that I could be like a better host.
So shout out to PJ, man. Like that was PJ. Awesome. Happy you're home, bro. Happy you're home.
I'm gonna watch that today. I saw it pop up. So.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. So
it's not super common that you see somebody though, even no matter what kind of person they were when they went in, come out and be better.
True, good point.
Very, I did 120 days in 2021. And I mean, that's not anywhere near the same, but I mean, it's still 4 months of my life that like everybody else I watched go in and come out, I would see them and they're just back to doing the same shit. And to be able to take a good experience of it is very, very, very difficult. So if he does watch this, man, my hat's off to you because I understand how hard that is. And when you get out, it's weird. It's fucking weird. Like life's weird for a little bit. Even feeling the weights, like, yeah, you feel like you're getting a candy store, but for me, everything felt kind of foreign. It took a couple months to really get back into it. But like, beside the point, like for him to be able to do that and come out and have a good experience and be able to speak to other people going through negative things like that with his light, like he got out and immediately took following his presence that he built years ago and did something extremely positive. That to me, that's very impactful. So if he does watch this, thank you. If not, I hope he gets to him. That I think that's awesome.
You know what? It does take a certain kind of person to go through some shit, but then you come out of it and then be able to help others with that shit. Does that make sense? It's
Especially
a different mind frame. Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. Shit, 4 months is a long time. I don't want to do fucking 4 days.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun, bro.
I don't want to do 4 hours.
You're right. Yeah. Well, think about it. Prep 16 weeks. But let's be real. You ain't suffering.
That's exactly how I thought of it the whole time, bro. That's how I thought of it.
That's the whole prep.
I'm dieting in there and everything, bro. I'm trying to. All we had was like a pull up, like a pull up machine bar. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a tower. So I would like lean it over and have people sit on it and bench press it and like sit in the chair, shoulder press it, leg press it, try to do whatever the hell I could. And I was just like, it's prep, bro. That's all I'm doing. I'm eating tuna. That's crazy. That's it.
At least prep, you could say the first 8 weeks are enjoyable, right? And it's really the last 8 weeks that are gone. This one, you got to go through the whole. Imagine that 4 weeks, 6 weeks feeling for 4 months. Fuck that, bro.
It was. Hey, listen, and they treat you like shit in jail too. Like, I'm not saying you deserve to be treated well. You're in jail, but like
treat like kings and shit.
But like, I mean, sometimes, bro, it was just so over the top. I'm like,
you going out of your way using extra energy to be shittier than me.
Yeah, like leaving lights on at night and shit, bro. Sometimes there would be certain CEOs that just wouldn't turn the lights on, and we'd ask why, and he's like, I don't want them off. Like, bro, like we already only get like 5 hours with the lights on.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're really gonna keep them on, and then they'll do like head counts, and some people will just kind of like look in. They'll like shake you, wake you up in the middle of your sleep 4 times. Like, it was just.
Oh fuck! Hey man, but we all know if it happens to be a riot, that CEO about to get a fucking power driver, fucking choke slam.
I mean, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah. Luckily, there wasn't anything crazy when I was in. I saw a fight or two, but there was really nothing crazy. I mean, it was pretty. Like, my first day, somebody tried to test me a little bit, but they were more so fucking with me. Like, it wasn't like as much like really testing me. They were just kind of fucking with me. And I looked at him. I said, "You really want to fuck with the big dude?" And everybody just started laughing, and just kind of, I was just.
See, you know what I mean? In my head, I'm like, how far do you want to go? How much of a message you trying to set? Like, are you gonna be like, yo, bro, somebody teases you and you just punch him straight in the fucking face, or you warm up to it? Try to.
That's the thing too. It's not even. I don't know. It ain't that serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People make it seem so like it ain't that serious. But stay away. You know who's in the gang.
Yeah.
You know, and the people who are in there for like violent felonies, like murder and shit, they're usually separated. You know, maybe not all of them, but you know, they're relatively separated. Like, there's not. Just keep your fucking head down and do your time and shut the fuck up. That's really all it is, bro. That's it. Play cards and shut up.
That sounds like high school in the Bronx, basically. Nah, but yo, I'm fading hard, man. I don't know if y'all could tell, so I might have to cut it. It's not early. It's like 2 hours. It's a good time, right?
Bro. Yeah, we be good.
It's a good time.
I think we get at 2 hours, gentlemen. I think we get to it.
All right.
Sounds good.
Hypo, man. We go hypo over here. We go hypo.
Oh yeah. Hey man, I appreciate y'all for coming on. I appreciate myself for coming on. And,
we appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you. And I'm gonna see y'all in a couple of days.